Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic. What is something that you were warned about when you were younger that you now feel was exaggerated? Your permanent record. I'm 55, and nobody has ever asked me about the time I was sent to the principal's office when I was 16. I'm so tempted to ask, but I don't want to ruin your streak. Nice way to ask indirectly. I was promised people would offer me drugs for free. Right. Me too, and at 42 I have thus far only been offered expensive drugs. Very disappointing. I don't even know how to find a drug dealer. They should teach these sorts of useful life lessons in school. When my 5th grade teacher told us that 6th grade would be a lot harder. I had an identical thing with school in general. Whenever we're on the verge of graduation, elementary school to secondary school to college, they would always talk about how teachers at the next level would have a tough love, we don't care attitude. There were some elements of truth, but a lot of what they said turned out to be laughably wrong. I think it was just meant to scare the true slackers straight. Yeah, I was led to believe the professors in college would be complete assholes. Turns out, they were just regular assholes like me and everyone else. Haha, so true. I heard this lie throughout my entire school life. Laugh now, kids. Because once you're in current grade level +1, your teachers won't put up with this kind of behavior. Swallowing chewing gum. Still waiting for that watermelon to grow out of my stomach. When I was 5, I did that many times and ended up with terrible constipation. I had to have x-rays for the doctors to check out what was going on. Our neighbor was a nurse and helped my parents give me an enema. Apparently my face will not actually stay like that if I make funny faces in the mirror. When I was a small kid, my mum said that line to me. My smooth small kid brain asked her, "Is that what happened to you?" My line of thinking was, how could she know that unless it had happened to her before? But I soon received a smack. It will however stay like that if you scowl on a daily basis. Courtesy of RBF. Random boner fever. Talking to strangers online. Hello internet friends. You're not my friend, I'm not getting in the van with you. That's my purse, I don't know you. Mom warned me to avoid any girl who wanted to stick her tongue in my mouth, French kiss, because it would lead me astray. Mama warned me about women like you, I was hoping she was right. Whoosh mama. My mom was obsessed with the idea that all bad shit only happened after midnight, so that was my ironclad curfew. Guess what, Mom? A ton of bad shit has happened to me in broad daylight. If the movie Gremlins ever raised an existential question in my jellyfish brain, it has to be this one: when does after midnight stop? 11:37. 13:15. How do the Gremlins know what time so they're in? How about daylight savings time? When I started my job I didn't have a car. Got off work at 2 a.m., went to the gym, then took the first bus of the day home at 4:30 a.m. A couple of my older co-workers were very upset by this and went to the boss, without speaking to me first, and demanded my schedule be changed. Because they were worried about me. The boss, without speaking to me, went to her boss and got my schedule change approved. I didn't want a schedule change. I have a sleep disorder and have to work at night. And I've been taking the city bus for about 15 years. The safest buses of the day were the first buses of the day. I was told I had to change my schedule and was not given a choice. They said I could switch to day shift, which begins at 5 a.m. So apparently taking the bus home at 4 a.m. is dangerous, but going to work on the bus at 4 a.m. is perfectly safe. Because the imaginary murderers and rapists hiding in the bushes waiting to attack me won't bother someone going to work. They only bother people going home. I think that's their logic. Forced to buy a car because of some nosy bitch who never took a bus in her life and is afraid of the dark SMH. And BTW when a co-worker who lived 25 miles away had her car break down for an extended period of time, you know what I did? I went and picked her ass up and took her home every night. I didn't go to the boss and demand her schedule be changed. I live less than 5 miles from work. Interesting how the people who were so concerned about me couldn't be bothered to give me a ride. Giving you an award cause I legitimately got so fucking angry reading this, and I don't get angry. I just 100% understand the frustration. Go to your boss's boss and explain it if you want. Fuck them tartackers. My school made me believe that I would be set on fire frequently. It has obviously not happened yet. My 50-year-old dad actually got set on fire not too long ago, and he said his first reaction was to stop, drop and roll like he heard in grade school, and that it worked. So it may not happen very often, but someday you may be thankful. It doesn't help when you are covered in a flammable, self-oxygenating liquid. Ask me how I know. My 4-year-old niece lectured me the other day about not having a fire ladder in my second story and fire extinguishers strategically placed through my house. I mean, she's not wrong, but it still stung. Edit, yes, I will be getting some more fire equipment next month. I'll be sure to show her so she knows her tiny voice got heard. I mean, I have a fire ladder in my house and I'm 90% sure I would just be jumping out the window if there were an actual fire. Goddamn those 4-year-olds trying to save our lives. My parents both smoked before having kids, and my mom raised me on stories about how the first time she smoked a cigarette, she coughed so badly that she threw up. It made staying away from smoking cigarettes pretty easy, because I didn't want to puke. Once I was in college, I brought up the story to her and she blinked like an owl caught in the sunlight. Wait, you believed me? She said. I was just trying to get you to not smoke. If smoking made me vomit, why do you think I smoked for 15 years? Good job, Mom. I could definitely see throwing up the first time you smoke a cigarette, especially if it's a really strong one. Cigarettes taste horrible and the nicotine makes you feel lightheaded and nauseous if it's your first time. I didn't throw up, but I coughed my guts out. Same thing with the first time I tried weed, coughed for what felt like eternity. Stranger rape. It still happens and is devastating, but most rapes are committed by someone known to the victim, not by a masked stranger popping out of the bushes. I think that emphasis on stranger fear discourages people from seeing red flags in situations with people they know. Wasn't it then found out that stranger danger did a lot of harm because when people were in actual danger they were less likely to seek out help from stranger because they were afraid of them? Also because it focused so much on strangers that it kinda further reinforced that non-strangers are safe. Now your creepy uncle who you would be wary of is just a creepy uncle, not a stranger, so he must be safe. My philosophy is generally that the average person you approach on the street will be reasonable, honest, and good-intentioned. The average person who approaches you on the street is much more likely to be trying to hurt or scam you. Edit, yes, that makes you the creep, I guess. Exercise caution in general, but especially if they approached you. Having a bad handwriting being a huge handicap for me in the future in my professional life. I've been working for 20 years, now. Never had to write anything down using a pen beyond personal notes here and there, not meant to be shared. Can anyone read this guy's post? It just looks like scribbles to me. They should have warned him when he was younger. I really thought the Bermuda Triangle would play a stronger role in my adulthood. I was told in Dear RE that people would constantly be offering me drugs and trying to get me high, and it would be a constant struggle to turn them down. Imagine my disappointment. They just wanted to educate you enough to tell on your parents about their marijuana usage. This is what an eighth of kush looks like, and if you ever see any anywhere, no matter who it is, immediately report it to the police. Remember when they had you sign a giant wallpaper saying you would never do drugs, lol. What a laugh. I was told the same thing, except about being recruited into a cult. Like, it wasn't if, it was when. And the kids offering were super sketchy weirdo losers, not like in real life the jocks and popular kids at a high school party. Apart from infamous quicksand, I thought it would be a bigger problem being stuck in the Alps and having to drink alcohol from a St. Bernard's necklace. Also, cannibalism was a huge concern in late elementary to early middle school days. It was highly unlikely we'd ever crash in the Andes or that our wagon train would get stuck in the mountains in winter, but for some reason all the kids in my school were concerned about it. Should we eat someone? Could we actually do it if we had to? Who should we eat first? The fat kid will keep, but we don't want the muscular guy to lose too much weight. We were pretty fucked up, I'm now realizing. Getting written up at work. Turns out that permanent work record does not exist, and will not follow you from job to job for the rest of your life. Or your school permanent record, like all the tropes in shows and movies. No one cares that you pushed little Billy down in 4th grade. I remember my teachers always scaring me, saying if I misbehave it'll go on my permanent record. YH as if some potential employer is going to be like, you're highly qualified for this job, but unfortunately we can't hire you since you pushed Billy back in 4th grade. Unless it's a high-par thing and you're trying to get back into the medical field. Absolutely. But getting written up as a 16-year-old at a retail job. Turning on the light in the car. Turns out it's not illegal but is actually distracting for the driver. So Dad could have just said the glare is distracting, don't have it on for long. I make it a point to wreck my car if someone turns on the overhead light after I tell them not to. They have to learn somehow.